Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm online. I think that I am. Just want everybody to, uh, I'm just waiting for everybody to get in the chat room and get everything set up and get on my chair and let me find myself, turn my volume down and we're going to get fixed up here this morning. I can't believe I'm up. Can't believe I'm up this early. But I am. I wanted to do some fun today. I wanted to do some practice. We're going to do a little bit of practice this morning. Hi, Giovanna and Brittany. Good morning. Yes. Okay, well we're going to talk about that and it's really easy and it's something fun. It's a game. It's a type of game. Zoe, oh, good. Good. I'm glad you're here, Zoe. I saw your message. I was going to try to get over to the messenger and because you messaged me, and I just now saw it. Good morning, Teresa. Good. I do too, and that's what this is one of the main things I'm doing this because I love games. Uh, so some of you all were in Lisa's room last night, and this is what my uh pick 10 looks like. Hi, Holly. Good morning. Janet. Yay, Janet's here. We're all saved. Janet's going to take care of us. I don't think I've had any trolls in my room, have I, Janet? I don't remember seeing any trolls. If I have, you've taken care of them for me. Okay, I'm going to tell you, Zoe. We're going to do a practice run, and we're going to wait just a few more minutes. It's 10. I told everybody I would do it about 10, and it's 5 till. So we're going to wait for the room to fill up. And if anybody is watching this video later, after we're live right this second, it's Tuesday morning, almost 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you're watching this on the recording part, you can fast forward it if you don't want to listen to us chat. I'm talking to a live chat room. Okay. I don't either. I think we've been good. I don't know how they find us. I don't know how other people find unless you I know you have this you can go to your subscription area and there's live events down at the bottom, but every time I go in there I never see any craft lives. It's always games and news and like new things that's going on in the government and stuff. Where them thumbs at? Oh, where are them thumbs at? Well, Teresa, give them a chance. Everybody just got here. They're probably not even on their first cup of coffee. I'm on my first cup. Right there it is, girls. Me neither. I set my alarm to get up at 9:30, and the cat wanted out at 6, and then I think Joe got up about 8:30, and he had to go do something this morning, and so I said no, I'm not opening my eyes until 9:30. I'm not opening my eyes. I laid there and I was awake, so I rested till 9:30 because I was up late last night. Hi, Barb. Good morning. Hi, Mitzi. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody's flowing in. Good, good, good. Okay. The first thing, for those of you that this is what I did in Lisa's room last night, and I think I'm going to have to. Aunt Beck said it was something spacey, like in the outer space, and I don't know. I might have to do something to it. Maybe make a butterfly and put some and say something. Oh, you've been up since 7. Okay. Deborah, good morning. Nice to have you. Good, good. Okay. Well, anyway, was cleaning my desk off a little bit, making up a little bit of room, and I'm going to get a few things ready. So I'm getting a magazine out. And if you want to play along with me this morning, we're going to do a practice run on journaling by 5's, and we're going to do it together. I've got 5 pieces. I'm going to take 5 pieces of paper. This is cardstock. I'm going to do 5 pieces. And I'm going to get 5 pieces of wax paper. You do 2 then, Zoe, if you want to just do 2. I'm going to do 5 just to do a little demo. And we're going to do it slow. We're not going to be it's not going to be a speed round just yet. There's another artist on a mixed media artist on the internet that's very she's very popular. She's been around for a long time, Shannon Green. And she came up with this game to help some people. People said, well, what do you do on a piece of paper? How do you break, how do you get started? How do you come up with a journal page? And Shannon says, oh, it's easy. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit so you can see my, there it is. That's better. And she said, well, how, so she says, this is how you break, if you're having a hard time making a decision. And I do not have a hard time making a decision. I can make a decision like that. Pick the first thing. Don't think about the color. It doesn't bother me. But sometimes it bothers someone because they want the right color. Well, there are no wrong colors. So this game helps you break the ice, how to get something on a paper in a fast pace. And if you do it as a game, it's like our pick 10s. We do it so fast. It's best they come out, each page comes out so different, and it comes out all good. Sometimes you get better pages than others, but it's the fun of crafting and enjoying it than the hassle of trying to make that hard decision of moving forward. And that's basically, I think, what this is about. Shannon always had to think about, well, now what color should I use? Well, if I do this, if I use blue, well, maybe it'll turn to mud. If I use yellow, well, maybe it'll turn to green. Well, that's not what the game is about. The game is about to have fun, and it's just like that big term that tennis shoe says, just do it. Just do it and move forward. And that's really what the game is about. And thank you, Janet, for putting Shannon Green's link in there. She's a mixed media artist. She's been around. She's got tons and tons and tons and tons of videos on everything. And I have done a video by her, and I've also done a video by Cat Hand. Cat Hand is another mixed media artist that's been around a while, and she's got a big channel too. And we talked about this I guess maybe it was last week, and we talked about, well, what is a background? You know, a background can be paper, stencils, book pages, you know, alcohol sprays. Do you all remember this little list we made? I got a whole page here of just things that you can use for background. So I was hoping that you all would remember some of these things. If you need for me to go over it, I will. Good morning to everybody coming in. See, Cheryl, Holly, I think I saw Brittany, Lucia, good morning. Good morning to everybody. There's 15 of us in here this morning. And so, anyway, the first prompt is going to be background. And I think I'm going to write us a note down here so we can have it at our fingertips. Let me find something cool to write with. This might work. Number 2 is going to be collage. I don't know how to spell collage. Or recycle. And number 3 is pattern. And that could be, for example, stamping or stencils or doodling, you know, something with a pattern. Deco scissors is a pattern. That's a pattern. When you use decorative scissors, that's a pattern. Something with a pattern. Number 4 is going to be words. And number 5 is going to be details. And that's usually done with a pen, outlining. And I'll go over these one more time before we start. Collage. Okay, I put EGE. My bad. I'm not a speller. I'm not. I take it honestly. Thank you, Janet, for putting Cat Hand's link there. She's a real. I like to watch Cat Hand. She lives down here in Florida somewhere, and I've been showing this little book out of lunch bags. There's 4 lunch bags here, and I've been doing a crafting along with her. Every month she'll do a page, and I've been doing this as one of her little follow-alongs. And then by the end of I think it'll be 8 weeks, I should have that little booklet finished. Okay, so journaling by 5's this morning. Hi, Steak and Fries. Glad you're here. You're going to love this. So anyway, what I was going to try to do is get a few things gathered just to have at our fingertips. Okay. The first thing I'm doing is I am getting five. I'm going to do 5 pieces of paper. Uh, Zoe's going to do 2, and that's fine. And in between my papers, I'm going to put Zoe. You don't have to do the wax paper because you've only got 2. But I'm going to put a piece of wax paper between my papers, in between them, because I'm going to be putting some paint down, and um, I don't want the papers to stick to each other. And I'm just tearing off exactly enough as a piece of paper. I'm using cardstock, but you can use anything that you have. If you have notebook paper, if you have, you can even use scrap papers that have something on the back that you don't want anymore. You can use the clean side. All I need is 5 pieces. All I'm doing is 5 pieces of paper. I just happen to have a new packet of cardstock, so I got it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I got 5. And I'm just going to put one on the bottom because I'm going to flip them over. Actually, I need it on the top. I'm going to flip it over. Okay. I like to have on hand either a baby wipe or some napkins or tissues or something. Because when you get your fingers get sticky, you might need something to wipe your hands on, or your brushes. I keep my paint brushes in this little caddy, and this little caddy had 3 little jars of cocoa in it for Christmas a couple years ago, and I bought it just for the caddy. I wanted it for my paintbrushes. And then I take a water bottle and I cut the top of the water bottle off, and and they fit right down in there. The jars were like little milk jugs, and the necks of them were too small to put, multiple brushes in them. And so I couldn't use the original bottles. But this works out really handy. I love it. I can take this to the bathroom and rinse out my bottles, and I take, if you have a jar of water for your rinsing of your brushes, I put a couple of drops of dish soap in it, and that soapiness really helps keep your brushes clean. And then my rinse water, I try to leave without any soap, because sometimes you get a brush and you're painting and you get a little bit of soap when you're painting. It's foaming up, but I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. It's just, one of those things. Okay, so I've got 5 pieces of paper. I hope, is anybody going to be playing with me besides Zoe this morning? Because I'm going to give you time to get your things. Anybody else going to play with me? You don't have to. You can just watch. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is get my magazine, and I'm going to go through here and pick out random images and words. Okay. I like this little girl, so I'm going to cut her out. And she's in a picture frame. So I'm just going to cut the frame out and leave her in the frame. And when we get to this prompt, she'll be perfect for a page. So I'm looking for some random pictures and words. So I'm going to save her. And here's a nice word. It says celebration, party. I'm going to use both of those words. So if you have a magazine, or you might already have a collection of words, you want to get about 5 or 6 of them out. I need 5 or 6 words and 5 or 6 images on hand before we start. And let's see. This is a scrapbooking magazine that my mom gave me. I don't know, somebody gave it to her, I think. The start of your journey. I kind of like that. I'm going to cut that words out right there. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I like the start of your journey. The start of our journey of journaling by 5's. Let's see. Pictures and words. I'm just going to be random here. This says, technically speaking, and it's talking about cameras, copiers, and scanners. And I might have to do a page on something like that. You know, Joe just bought me my new camera here so that I can start streaming. And this is my third, I think it's my third week. Janet is giving you some tips. And you might find that one page, you know, you might find 2 or 3 images, and that's okay. It's whatever, there's no big right or wrong in any of this. Here's that party page. There's another party. I might have party on every page. Janet, please get your coffee. I got my coffee. Zoe's already done with her backgrounds. Good. Okay. You wait on us. Zer Daddy, good morning. Zer Daddy, I don't remember seeing you in my room before, but thank you for coming this morning. We're doing an art journal this morning. This is an art room. And right now we're going through our magazines looking for some cool words. The backgrounds, here you go, Zoe. We have a collage. Do you have your scrap area where you keep all your scraps and leftovers and things? Zoe, do you have a few like old leftover napkins, leftover painty papers? That's a napkin. This is where I punched out some butterflies, and so I put the rest of it in my scrap bin. That'll be great for a collage, something like that, Zoe, and everybody else too. Oh, I think I hit the camera. You okay? Let's see, what else? Oh, I'm still working on my words. In your own words. I'm going to cut that out. I might use that. And then I have party, party, party signs. That might be on that page. I might just put 10 parties on there. Since I've got them all, I can do that. And I will cut this out a little bit further. Words, words. Okay, let's see. I need a few more images. I found some jackpot on the parties and the celebration. What day is it? I don't know. It's Tuesday. All day. It's Tuesday all day. Good morning to anybody else that's coming in. I'm sorry I got my head down. Good morning, Dawn. We're going to do a little practice run today, and I'm going to do a demo on journaling by 5's, and I've got 5 pages. I'm just going to do 5 pages. I'm using cardstock. I've got my wax paper in between, and they're just single pages, and I'm just going to flip them over as I do them. And I thought we would do it together as a practice run because a lot of the girls didn't understand it or couldn't believe it, or so I just thought, well, I'll explain it as we go, and this way when we play the real game, you won't have time to stop and think. You have to go real fast. That's the whole idea, I think. So we're going to try it. And Lisa and I were going to try to do this as a hangout. And I thought, well, we could do this as a practice run before we do it as a hangout. Then you guys will know what's going on when we're talking about it. So I think that's enough celebrations. Okay, sophisticated. Ooh, I've got some vintage images here. Here's a vintage image. And I could tear it. Some of the girls like to tear this away. So there's an image, and there's an image. Hi, Becky. Good morning. Good morning. We are too, Becky. I'm still working on my first cup. Janet, I think, got her first cup. A couple of people just got up. We're going to practice our journalings by 5's this morning, and we're cutting out a few images to have by our side. And we're working on images and words right now. We just picked up a magazine, And some of y'all might have a little envelope. Okay, Becky, she's going to get coffee, I bet. And we'll get a few things ready. Anybody else going to play with me besides me and Zoe? You don't have to. It could be, oh, time to play. Oh, definitely. It's time to play with our art. For sure. Time to play. Yeah, buddy. And look, there's a paintbrush. I like that little thingy-dingy paintbrush. That'll be good on our art page with my time to play. These images aren't very big in this book, but weddings. This book came with some scrapbook paper. I might be able to use some of that, but I've got plenty over here in my bucket. There's some more arting supplies that I like. There's another paintbrush. I'm not fussy cutting anything out real. I'm just cutting out around it real tight. If you have if you have time, like when you're sitting in front of the TV and you want to sit and fussy cut these things out and keep them in an envelope, then you would have yours, you would have yours fussy cut it out and available. And you can just flip through your little envelope and at your fingertips. That's kind of the idea of some of this, is to have some of it, just having things at your fingertips, and it makes the game go easier and less stressful on you than you trying to hunt through the magazine. Yes, Holly, I'm telling you to go ahead and play with your scissors this morning, but I'm using the short ones, so the little ones. So maybe it'll be safe. After I get these cut out, we're going to put the scissors down. Oh, goodness. So I went through that magazine kind of fast, and we'll put it away. And I just happened to get a new woman catalog for clothes, and I like this magazine, this catalog. It's one of those free catalogs, but I think the women in it are so pretty. I use them in my art all the time. It just makes them famous. Famous in my book. And I am going to cut out just a couple of people here to put in my stash, because I can. Because we can. See? Something like that. And even someone, it's the same girl, but she's cute too. But you'll see as we go along how you can use some of these pictures if you have them at your fingertips. And that's the whole idea, is to have them at your fingertips for convenience purposes. And then your creative juices will start up, and you won't be able to stop. Your creative juices will be... Hi, Sherry. Anybody else come in? Good morning. Good morning. We're cutting out some images for journal, getting ready to play Journalings by 5. And I'm only going to do 5 pages. And we're going to do it together slowly. We're not going to go real fast. We'll do it slow. We're going to practice. Now, here's a trick that I have seen other people do. And I've got the one half of one girl and the other half of another girl. And when you put them together like this, it kind of makes her, because she's turned one way and her legs are turned the other way, it kind of makes it funny. But it's cute. So you might find something useful like this on your page. Now that's being creative, okay? You're thinking outside of the box. And I might use her in my images, okay? So just something fun to think about. You never know what you might want. And you just never know how far you'll go until you get to that point. And you'll go, oh, that'll look good. That'll look good. So you just have a few things at your fingertips to make your decisions easier. Let's see now. I've got a few words. I'm going to put that away. Okay. That's, oh, okay. So I've got 5 pages of cardstock, and I've got some wax paper in between. At my fingertips, I've got my background is going to be like my paints, and they're all right here at my fingertips. I can grab them. They're real close. I've got collage and recycles, and that's going to be my leftover scrappy box. I got tons of that. No problem there. Patterns and stamping can be anything, like with a decorative scissors. That's a pattern. We had a list. What did I do with my list? Patterns can be stamping, stencils, decorative scissors, or stickers, or something that has a pattern on it. I might find a pattern, like, for example, even though this is a collage piece, recycled, this is also a pattern because it's got a row of butterflies and it's got pattern stripes. That would be great for a pattern. So I can do some more of this out of my scrappy box or some of these other items. And then I've already got my words and images right here. And I got me a jar of glue. And then we have our details at the fifth prompt. And I've got a little jar here of some Sharpies and pencils, and there's a plain pencil, there's some ink pens in there. So I got a little variety of pens to doodle with. So I think that's just about everything I need for a journaling by 5. So what we're going to do is, do you have any questions at this point? Does everybody understand so far? My hair is falling down. I got to put it back up. Okay, at this point, okay, Zoe, we'll see you in a minute. At this point, we're going to start the game. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to use a timer. I'm not going to do a timer on this. In the real game, we would do each prompt. We would have like 15 minutes to do each prompt in the real game. Okay, for each one. The first 15 minutes, we're going to do just backgrounds. Well, Janet, this is the way we're going to do it today. I don't think there's any right or wrong. What difference did Shannon have from mine? She had paint, textures, pictures, words, or doodle. Pictures and images. Texture. I think it's about the same. I've got 2 people that I've done this with. Backgrounds, paint and stencils, tape, backgrounds, collage, texture, decoupage, collage, pictures, pattern is a little different here, maybe on 3 is pictures. And then I have words or images, and she just has words. She's got pictures as 1 and words as 1. And then she has doodling, pen and pencil. Very similar. Okay, Dawn, you watch. The main thing is that we're all on the same page. We don't have to do it exactly as Shannon. The main thing is that it's kind of like our prompts when we play the pick 10 prompts or the dirty dozens. They're all different, and they're all up for a little bit of adjustment to what you have, and they're all up to an adjustment to your thinking in or out of the box. And there's really no right or wrong. Okay, so it may be a little different than Shannon's, but it's not wrong. It's just the way we're going to do it today, because I'm trying to explain how to play. But I think she had pictures up here. Instead of words and pictures. So would that help? I think that'll work out. I mean, I think it'll be fine if we just do, if we, and I'm just demonstrating. We can still continue to tweak this. Hi, Jolie. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, morning. So this is how we're going to try to do it today as a demo. And if there's another way that's improvement, we can always add improvement. Okay, so here we go. You might also, when we get ready to play, when you're playing this for real, you're going to have about 15 pages, 15 to 20 pages. I think I played with 20 pages in these other books. Oh, I see. Brittany says, copy this from a video. Paint, ink, collage, recycle. Okay. Background, paint, ink. Okay. Any kind of color. It could be paint. It can be ink. It could be any kind of a marking tool that you have, a crayon. Okay, a crayon. And then number 2 is collage or recycle. Stamping and stencils or pictures. And then I had words. I did have images, but there was one that had pictures up here. And then 5 is detail. That's exactly what I have. Okay. So it's words and pictures, words and images. And pictures. So I did have it right. Okay. So stamping and stenciling. Okay, I marked that off. Thank you. All righty. Words and images. Step 4. Yes. Okay. Hi, Jolie. Welcome, welcome. You saying hi to everybody? Okay, we're doing a practice run of journaling by 5's, and I'm going to go slow. I'm not going to use a timer today, and then I'm going to try to watch chat at the same time, and you all can help me put something down. So it's not going to be all about Beth. It's going to be all about us, okay? So I think I've got enough things at my fingertips that I can use. This is just an old disposable lid off of a fast food thing, and I use it for paint. I've got an old scrungy sponge. Sometimes I use it to paint with. I've got paint brushes. I've got my paints. Paints are right here. I got my glue is right here. I've got a glue brush in the glue ready to go. I've got some extra napkins to wipe my hands on. And I've got some fancy drawers over here with ink pads, and different kind of ink pads and marking things for ink. I've got washi tape over here at my fingertips if I have to grab any washi tape. I've got plenty, and I've got stencils also at my fingertips, sort of. But I'll get a couple of stencils out. And we'll have those at our fingertips. And then we can play now. Okay? Anything else? Anybody can think of anything else? Okay. I also have a couple of stamps that are just laying here on my desk. We can use these. These have a few words. I could use these for my words, if I don't find anything in the little pile that I cut out. So I have a lot of other supplies in the room, but I think this is all we're going to need for our example. Thank you, Dawn. So here we go. I'm the first one is, I'm not going to do all these other little gadgets. I'm just going to do the backgrounds on all 5 pages at once. So I'm going to flip this over because that's our directions. So we're going to do backgrounds. So I want to put some paint down and do a background. So you want to shoot me out some colors, or shall I just grab? Doesn't have to be the same color for each group. I've got brown. What goes good with brown? This one's about empty. Orange, blue. Woohoo! We could do a little bit of both. I'm going to turn that one upside down because it's about empty. And you don't really need a whole lot, because this, when you spread it out, especially with a credit card, this was a customer card. It was a sample. When you spread that paint out, it goes real thin. And I'm just smearing it on. I'm not trying to do anything in particular. And when you're working this fast, you don't really have enough time to use the heat gun every time. So you might want to have a piece of scrap paper that you can put your leftover paint on. Would be a good idea. I've got a piece of a paper towel right here. I can do that right there. I got some extra paint, and I'm going to leave it on the card and use it for the next page. And I'm going to get one of my napkins that I have at hand and just do a little dab in here to get some of it off, because I'm going to flip it over onto this wax paper, and so it won't get on the back of the other sheet. But if I just do that just a little bit, it'll help it for when I flip over. So now I'm going to this next page. Moving on. Let's see. Orange, orange, and yellow. So orange, orange, and yellow. Orange and yellow. Keep coming with the colors, because I've got 3 more pages after this one. Come on. And I'm going to go ahead and get a paintbrush this time. And just put it down. Put her down. Put her down. And I'm going to take another tissue and just, this is a napkin. And my paint is old, so it's got things in it. paints things. Okay, that's all I'm going to do on that one. Just abstract. Okay. Brittany, you got some good ideas, girl. I like your ideas. I'm going to flip that over onto the wax paper and go to the third page. And she says, okay, Becky, pink and purple. I can do pink and purple. And again, it doesn't have to be paint. I have a pink marker right here. You might have a pink crayon. But see, I'm getting some color down on the page. And it's going to be a background. Just trying to show you that it could be different varieties. And I'll take the credit card. There we go. Okay, Steg, thank you. Then she says black and white. I'm going to flip this over. I kind of scraped off the paint and it's halfway dry. But it won't stick too bad to the wax paper. Black and white, black and white. And you can even use gesso, the white gesso. But I got a little paint right here. There's that. And my black, I need to find me, and I think I've got a new one underneath my knees. But this one's watery and thick. But that's okay. We'll do it. We'll do it. And we'll use the credit card again on this black because it's going to smear everywhere. I'm going to dab this black a little bit because, and see, by doing that, you can make more colorings by using the napkin. I did a napkin trade with Tanya about a month or so ago, and these were the backs of the napkins, and then I mailed them to her. So I can use these for cleanups or whatever I want to use them for. Wipe my card off, and then I'm going to take the white. How about that? Black and white, and then black and red. Flip that over, and I think this is our last one. So black and red is all I need. I don't need any more colors, Brittany. But that's okay. It's good to have extra. You might want to change your mind. So let me do black. And I won't use as much of the black. And then red. And this one's about out too, but we're going to use them up. I get my craft paints, most of them, the new ones I get from Walmart. They're 50 cents a bottle. And that's about the cheapest I have found my craft paints. And sometimes I'll pick some at a yard sale, but if I do, they're usually old and seen better days. But I don't mind to add a little water to it if I need to. All right, we got black and red. And it doesn't have to be perfect because the idea is to keep moving, okay? So by this time, after 15 or 20 pages, your 15 minutes is probably just about up. But if you had any time left, you can still go back to the other pages and do something else during that whole 15 minutes. And so if you needed to come back and you wanted to scrape a little bit more paint here, you could. Okay. And there's no that's what you would do for the first prompt. You would do all 20 pages. We did 20 pages, and we'll have to take a vote on if you all want to do 15 pages or 20 pages for everyone to play. And if you don't finish the last page, if you don't get to the last page and the timer goes off, that's okay. That's okay. We won't that's just part of the game. Usually the last 2 or 3 pages of the 20 are neglected. And sometimes you make up, because if you have any extra time left over, you're already at the back of the book. So you can spend those extra seconds on the last pages. So you can make it up on another prompt. It's just kind of the way it flows. It's just the way it flows. Does anybody have any questions on the first prompt? Does everybody understand? We're practicing journaling by 5's. Any questions? Hi, Carol. Okay, we're practicing journaling by 5's, Carol, before we play the real game. I wanted to do a demo because some of the girls hadn't heard about it. And it's been around for quite a few years. Okay, so now we're going to go to the second prompt. Hi. So after the timer's gone off and we've got everything sort of got the paint put away and cleaned up a little bit. So we're ready to do the second round. And I got to get rid of that ruler. So we're going to do collage and recycle. So everything I'm going to do next is going to come out of my handy dandy leftover salad box. My salad could be my salad scraps. So I've got tons to use in here. So I'm not going to use it all. I'm just going to use a few pieces on each page, because in the game I'm going to have 20 pages and I only have 15 minutes to do all 20 pages. So I'll have time to do 2 or 3 pieces on each page. If you have a hard time selecting choices, then you need to stick to 1 or 2 pieces, and so that you can keep moving. If you're fast and you can slap them down real fast, then you can do maybe 3 or 4 pieces. And it's all up to how you feel, how fast you want to go. Okay? And again, there's no right or wrong. Even if you just put 1 piece on each page, that would be a correct way to do it. So it's just all about your style of how you want to do this. So I've set the timer. It's 15 minutes to put a collage or background. So here I go. So I'm going to start slapping the glue down. Yes. Yes, it is, Janet. I'm trying to, give you some good ideas and examples and so forth. Now, since we'd already talked about this, I'm going to save this for the patterns. because it was so cute. It was cute. So I just happen to have this paper towel, and I'm just going to collage it down. And this paper towel, I guess, is it texture that we're doing? Texture? Yeah, we're doing texture things. So if you have uh, anything that's like yarn, string, uh, fabric, material, scrappies, you could do things like that too. Uh, I was trying to get over here on my monitor went off, so let me get you back up here on my monitor. I've never done that before. I'm sorry. One moment. Here we go. Um, just to let you know, I have when you're streaming, I have you on my big monitor, and there's a lag between my real time and by the time it gets to you. So I see my hands on my monitor before you see my hands. It's like 3 or 4 seconds. So I watch my monitor to see if I'm still in frame and to see that I'm giving you all the best view. And for some reason, Bing, a search engine, came up and took over my computer for a second. And I don't care for Bing. But anyway, I'm adding texture down, and and my clock is ticking. So I'm going to move on and add some more texture to this page. And another good way to use your cards is to smooth things down. You don't have to scrape hard, just sort of pat things in the right direction, especially when you're working with a napkin, because it can tear. And this is a little piece of paper towel that's been separated. And it's okay if you got a little piece that's stuck up there. We're not going to worry about that because it'll get taken care of in the end. Okay, I think I'm done that. I'm going to go ahead and tear. No, he's glued down now. Had a little point there. Okay, now if you got any questions, don't be shy. Tell me what you need. Okay. So it's still wet with glue, but I'm going to flip it over onto the wax paper. I'm not going to press it. I'm just going to flip it. And the wax paper will protect it from the page before. More texture. Let's see if I can find something crazy. Here's more texture. This is I got this at a yard sale. It was in the box that I bought. And back in school, the teachers used to put this around the bulletin board trim on the bulletin boards when they do the bulletin boards and decorate them. And I think that's what this came from. So there's a good piece of texture. And you could also use it because it's like that corrugated cardboard. You could use a piece of it to stamp and make a design. But we're going to put it right there. And you see it doesn't really match, but that's the whole idea of the game. Don't worry about if it matches. We just want to get something down on the paper. And I'm not going to worry that this needs a little bit more glue. I will worry about that at the end of the game. I'll go back and touch all the glue spots up. But the main thing is to get it down. Get your image down, or your textures, and then we're going to flip and go on to the next page because we're on a time. We're pretending we're on the timer. So here, I need something here. Here's some texture. It's a piece of lace. It's a scrap. So I'm going to put it down. It'll look good on the purple. I love having my glue in a jar. You don't have to. You can squirt it. You can use your Elmer's, and that's what this is Elmer's glue. You can put a little bit of Elmer's down and then use your paintbrush to use it. That's okay. Whatever you have, whatever glue you have. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over it just a tad and make sure it sticks. And I think it will. Texture. That is real texture. Any questions? Yes. Well, that's going to be my next project, Janet, is my jelly plate. I've decided that last night I said I've got to do jelly prints next, and I never did get to the Dollar Tree to get my. I think I have enough stuff here that I can improvise with, instead of buying the other roller that you were talking about. And I think I can improvise because I've got 2 brayers, and I've got tons of stuff. I got plenty of stuff, homemade stuff. So that's all I'm going to do on that. I did pat it dry just a tad to get the big moisture off. And I'm going to flip on and put it on the wax paper and go to the next page. And we're going to add texture. Textures. See what I can find in the magic salad scraps. Oh, looky here. I'm going to save that for patterns. That'd be perfect for a pattern for that one. And again, I shouldn't be so picky, but here's some texture. It was a doily that my niece she folded it up and tried to make a snowflake out of. I'm going to put that on this page. How about that? It's a doily, a paper doily. We'll pat it down, and it's going to stick. Again, I'm not going to worry about all the fine edges because I can go back after the game and tack everything down when we're done playing. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about all of the edges. Okay, I just want it to stay on there right now. Just get it tacked down right now, so you don't have to use a ton of glue. Zoe, Gailey is steak and fries. You see steak and fries? That's who that is. Her screen name is Steak and Fries, and she's got the pretty yellow Pac-Man. Okay, we're going to our last page for texture. What do I got down in here? Found some scraps of paper, music paper. We'll put some music paper down. Thank you, Cheryl or Kathy Whitley, for subscribing. My whole idea of streaming is just to have fun. I am a newbie. I've only done this for 3 weeks, and I'm not an expert in anything, but I do like to do a lot of crafts, and I do have quite a bit of experience with crafts all my life. Uh, I used to do crafts at the nursing home with uh, a lot of the residents there at a place that I volunteered. I did. There was 36 residents, and not everybody came back to the craft room, but I usually, had a room full of people that would come back to play. And I had a therapy dog, and I still have her. She's right here by my side. She was trained to be obedient in public, and so she was a therapy comfort dog. And if if I couldn't get them to come out and do crafts, they would come out and see Abby, and that counted for them coming out of their room. So it was a good thing. Okay, so I put down some paper for texture. Okay. And this would also count as a pattern because look, it's musical notes. To me, that's a pattern. Okay. Well, you'll remember my doggy's name then. Zoe's grandmother has a dog named Abby. Well, I can see her on the chat, Zoe. So uh, she's watching. She's busy, and I'm also having a cup of coffee in between 15 our timer. My timer just went off. My pretend timer. So I'm going to fold that onto the wax paper, and then we're going to flip everything back. Now we're on to number 3, and it's patterns stamping. And in our example that we wrote down the other day, patterns can be anything in a row. Stamping, you can stamp in a row, the same stamp all over. Same thing with stencils. You could cut with decorative scissors. That's a pattern. You can use stickers in all 4 corners. That would be a pattern. You can make things up. I'm sure there's more ideas in your all's little brains. I'm sure your brains are just rolling over thinking of ideas, right? Am I getting your creative juices flowing? Okay, so we're going to do pattern and stamping. Okay, here we go. This one might be a little harder. Now here's an example of the glue sticking to the wax paper, but it didn't tear anything. Okay, so I'm going to lay this over here, and that's okay. There's still a little glue down, and we can use our pattern. This was a pattern, and I'm going to put it right there. That's good. I like that. Okay, slap a little glue down, press this down, and blot it just a little bit. And we're off to the next page. If you got anything to say, tell me now. Well, Carol, I did my little rag dolls, and I'll show them to you when we get done with this, okay? And you can go back and watch the video on. There's a video on them. Okay, here's the wild page. Red, white, and blue, and orange and yellow. Woohoo! Who knew? I might have enough of these things for all 5 pages. Add a little bit more orange. It's okay if you got it, There's no right or wrong. No right or wrong here. It's whatever you got. pattern. And I'm going to go up to 15 minutes. And again, if you still have time at the end, you can go back and add more patterns. Flip that on the wax paper. This one's sticking, but the wax paper doesn't tear anything. More patterns. Looky here. I could take and do a butterfly on here. There's a pattern. It's good to use your corners because when you get to the image stage, your image will probably go in the middle, because I think that's your words and your images are your focal point. So we're working up to the image. So we're trying to go to the outside and go in a little bit. That's a tip. You can slap everything in the middle if that's what you want to do. There's no problem. And I've got a little bit more of this butterflies here. I'm going to add a little bit more since I got it. And I think I've got a little time on my timer there. I'm going to go for a second butterfly on this page. And I'm just going to dab this glue on real thin and slap this napkin down real fast and not worry about the tails just yet, because I can go back at the end and get those. But I got the thing down on the paper so I can flip it real fast. This is how you play the game. Try to go faster. This one needs some texture. Oh my gosh, looky here. I got another napkin. That would look so cute on that page. I got to use it. Got to use it, guys. And look, it's 2 napkins. Let's see if it went through. Nope, it didn't go through. Sometimes when you stamp on napkins, the ink will go through several layers. So I'm just going to see if I can't. I better not. I'm going to tear the whole thing. I was going to try to be snappy and tear it real quick, but I'm going to cut it. It's a napkin. It's not going to tear straight like a piece of paper. And I'm not worried about how straight the edges are or anything. Don't have time to do that right now. But I do have time just to put a little bit of glue down. And I'm just going to dab it. That's all you need for a napkin anyway. And I'm going to put it right up here. And I'm not worried about if it goes off the edge or not. That'll be fine, because, like, again, at the very end, you're going to get to go back and finish gluing down tails and refining the glue part. And even if something's off the edge, you'll have time to trim that at the end. But right now we're pretending we're on the timer, so we got to move fast because we're going to have 20 pieces of paper. Now here's an example of the wax paper sticking to the glue, but it's peeling off without tearing anything. If you do it real slow, if you jerk it, you might bring something off. So just do it slow. You'll have time to do that. So now we need some more on here. Let's see what I can find in the bottom of the box. Oh, looky here. This is off of the side of a tissue box. I peeled it off of the cardboard, and this is the flowering off of the tissue box, recycled. I'm going to slap some glue down, and I'm going to put it right there. I don't know why. I'm just going to do it. And then I'm going to take my dabbing tissue napkin here and just spread it out a little bit so that it'll stick, because this little piece curled up, right? So that's our last page in And the timer went off, and we're going to flip it all over and do it again. I got to go check the kitchen real quick. I think Joe left, but he might have come back. Just a minute. I'm sorry. Okay, no, he didn't get home yet. Just heard something. Okay, so now we've done the backgrounds, we've done the collage, and we've done a pattern. So we're going to set the timer to 15 minutes. And while we're in the middle of a stage, when you're playing this game, you don't have to do it all in one day. You can do 15 minutes, first prompt, one day, and then you can, if you need to go to the store or answer the phone or do some errands or cook or whatever you need to do, you can take a break and you can come back and do the second cycle, the second prompt, when you have 15 minutes to spare, you know. So you could do it all in one day, or you could do it in stages. So you don't have to do, because this is going to take 1 hour and 15 minutes to do the whole game, journaling by 5's with 20 pages. It'll take you an hour and 15 minutes to actually play the game. So the point is, you can take breaks in between if you need to, and then if you didn't want to do it all in one day, you don't have to. Okay, so it's kind of like you're on the honor roll system, and you do you do what you want to do. Okay, and the main thing is that we're all kind of doing the same thing. From Shannon's video for the prompts, it's paint or ink, collage or recycle, stamps for pattern or stencils, and it is words and images and detailing, pens and pencil. That's exactly what I have. And again, paint is just an example. It doesn't have to be paint. It really just needs to be color. So you could use a crayon, you can use a magic marker, you can use a gelato pen, you can use a glitter pen, you can use glitter paint, glitter glue or colored glue. What's this glue? Glitter glue. This is color. You can use this for your background. And I would put a squirt of it on there and then use a credit card to smear it out real fast. Well, I beg to differ with you, Janet, okay? And here's why, okay? She's saying on stamping here that you can't use glue, and that's not true. A pattern is a pattern. You may want to glue your pattern. The guidelines that Shannon has are guidelines. They're not written in gold. They're not written in granite. They're guidelines for you to use. The main thing for the game is to have fun, okay? So you can use stamping, you can use stenciling. I'll put stenciling down. Yes. You can use stencils. You can use glue if you need to. Yes, you can. That's not the correct way. Now, Shannon, when she played the game, she may have said something like that, Janet, but we're not, again, everything is not written in stone, okay? This is a fun game, not a stressful game. and it doesn't have to be focused on exact words. And I want everybody to feel free, and if they're creative enough to think about a pattern, this is considered a pattern. And if you have this on for number 3 as and you want to use this for your pattern, you may glue it down. Yes, ma'am. So we can bend a little bit and be flexible and be creative, and and uh it's all good and all fun. And so anyway, we've done all 3 of these, and we're going to move on to words and images. And remember, I have my words and some images already out of the magazine ready to go. So here we go again, and we're going to go back to the glue too, because we got to glue them down. And this will happen when you play this game, and it's good. That's right, Harley. We don't want to stress out. So if you need to switch something out, and you want to do something a little different, that's okay. That's quite okay. We're going to allow it, because this is our art game. Okay, so now we want words and images. Here we go. Time to play. I'm just going to use this one. Just going to use that right there. And her shirt matches those purple letters right there. So you see how I sort of did the edges on the background and sort of left the center for your focal. And she's kind of our focal point right there. Okay. And this is still sticking to the wax paper, and that's okay. We're not going to worry about that. I think that looks good. That is good. We'll flip that over. And then we got this guy. Woohoo! Looky here. This little girl's got some red in her shirt and a little bit of blue. You see, I think that looks kind of good on there. And she's looking at us like, what's going on? Let's celebrate. Look, we're going to celebrate because it's the 4th of July or something. She's saying, let's celebrate. And we got 2 of them. How's that? Celebration. Celebration. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's cute. Here we go. Let's put in your own words. In your own words. Where's my glue brush? Anything goes, and it doesn't have to be straight. You can do it cattywampus. Is cattywampus a word? I'm not sure. I've used it all my life. Cattywampus. In your own words. What can we put down here in your own words? Maybe she would look good on there. A vintage dressed lady. I wonder what she would say to this game. Oh my, she would probably roll her eyes. What would she say in your own words, sweetie? What would she say? There you go. A big juicy cheeseburger and fries. Wow. I don't think I cut any cheeseburgers out. But if I had one in my stash, that would be great. Good idea. Good idea. Thought I had some more vintage. That vintage pictures look nice on that. Just a tad more glue. You see, I'm spending a little extra time on this one, so I got to keep moving now, so I can't dilly-dally around. So we can move on to the black and white. All right. Black and white. I want to use tech on this page. Technically speaking, and see, that's not glued down all the way, but that's okay. I just want to get the words down. And then I've got some office equipment. I'm just going to put a little dab here, get it tacked down. Not going to worry about gluing it all the way down. I got a camera. I'm just going to tack that camera right there. It seems to me I had something else. Oh, I've got I think this is a paper cutter thingy. And I will put it right here. And we'll move on. Move on. We don't have time. Our pretend clock is ticking along. And like I said, at the end, I'll come back and re-tack these little corners down, okay? I just wanted to get most of the moisture up. It makes it easier for the sticky problem on the wax paper. Okay, peel this one off. And this one's going to say, what day is it? Is this our last one? Or let's start your journey. Let's start your journey. That's good. Tack it down. And then maybe our journey is going to be to party every day. And we're going to party. And I've got tons of parties here. Because they're cute. Party, party. Party, hardy. I got one more. Whoops. That one didn't stay. Okay. So we're at the end of our book. The timers. I got 30 more seconds. What should I do with that 30 extra seconds? Well, I like the way the party's working out, so I'm going to flip it over and see if there's something that I can do more. I can still start from the beginning. I've got 30 more seconds. See, this is an example. 30 more seconds. What can I, that's why you want to have a little extra words or images laying around that you might be able to use. Time to play. Well, maybe she's got some paintbrushes she's going to play with. How about that? Time to play. How about that? I've still got 15 more seconds. I'm not going to stop just yet. I might find something else. Time to play. Celebration. Celebration. I don't have anything, words or images. Celebration. I have another celebration sign over here. I'll just add one more. Okay. We're going down to the last 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Now, this is another reason why you want to tear it off slowly, because it took part of my napkin. but I can't see where it took it from, so I'm not going to worry about it. I think it came right here. So ding, 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 the timer goes off. You got to stop, or you're supposed to stop. But sometimes if you're finishing up on one last little glue spot, you can finish that up. So there's our example. Okay? Does it make sense? So you might get through it, partway through after you finish everything. You can still go back if you still have time left on the timer. That is allowed. Okay? So we're on our last 15 minutes. Do we have any questions? Pink and blue mainly. Well, that's okay, Zoe. If that's all you got, if you only have one color down, that's okay. If you like multitasking, then you might try 3 colors. Just remember, don't squirt a whole lot on each page, because you'll have all this extra paint, and you can even take and put a drop of paint down and use your brayer. Keep your brayer out. And I'll give you an example of that after we're done. We got one more for detailings. So I'm setting my timer. Right. It's supposed to be 15 minutes per prompt, Zoe. And today I'm not even got the timer on. We're pretending. This is an example of how to do journaling by 5's. And I wanted to show you all how to go through the stages and do it so that when we play the real game, we're going to do it by 15 minutes. And we're going to do 20 pages at a time. But today, we're just doing a sample. We're pretending today. Well, we can discuss that. If you don't want to do 20 pages, we can discuss that. You can do it. I did it. I think I had 20 pages in my other books. I can count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I had 21 pages in this one that I did. And this one, I did it, it was inspired by Cat Hand. I did that with Cat Hand. And this one is Journaling by 5's. And the first one was done in February of 2016. This one was done in July of 2017 with Shannon Green. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And they were double pages in this book. So it's just we can decide on what we all want to do. This is probably more advanced because it's double pages, and I worked on 2 pages at a time with a piece of wax paper here, and I flipped the pages, and I did these 2 pages, had a piece of wax paper, and did it the same format. I did all the backgrounds at the same time, and then I did all of the collaging at the same time. Okay, and that was my things I've done in the past. And I'll flip through these. Let's do the last one again. And then I'll do a flip through those, and I'll show you a few other techniques that are good to use when you're working on something in a hurry. And did you glue the pages together? Yes. Um, this book here is a spiral notebook, and I just put a piece of wallpaper on the front and did a title after I did a book. And the first page, I ended up gluing two or three pages together on every one of these. I went through and glued them together so that there was only 20 pages, and so it was bulky. So you can see here that this has got 2 pages, and it's just regular notebook paper. And so here I glued these pages together, and it was 3 pages. This one's 3 pages. But I did that before we started. So they were nice and dry. And then I had a pile of pictures and images. And then I had a pile of words. And these all came out of magazines. There's a cat. This one didn't really have a picture, except tie one on has ribbons in the background. Tie a ribbon on. So that was the image. But it just so happened to have a word too. Yeah. And then this other book that I used was some kind of a brochure book. I don't know, because I don't have everything's covered up on it. But it's a hard cardboard cover on it, on front and back. And the inside books are like photo paper thick, cardstock thick. And there is writing. And it was some kind of instruction book. I can't remember what kind of book it was. I was trying to look for hints of background, things in the background, but I covered everything up pretty good. But it was some kind of a brochure book, and it had thick pages. So I used it as my journaling book, and I probably painted the pages before I started them, or gessoed a little bit. So I had my pages prepped so that when I did my background, it would take. Well, Cheryl, I know what you mean, but 15 minutes, you don't need a minute for each page. You need 30 seconds and you move on. 30, 45 seconds. And that is part of what Shannon was trying to get across to everyone. She wanted you to be creative fast enough to put something down without being picky about it. Don't think about it. We want you to do it. And every one of these pages, there's that hamburger you all was talking about. So the idea of it is to just do it, and if you think 20 pages is too much, then you can do 15. And that'll give you a minute for each page, especially if you've never done it before. And that's perfectly fine. And that's why I just did 5 pages today. I just wanted to not really use the timer, pretend. And this is what you would be doing if you were doing 15 or 20 pages. This is and if you want to, like I said, if you're new at this and you're worried about the 20, then don't do the 20. But again, the 20 might be back here and you may not get to them, but that's okay. You have them there if you want them. Holly, are you hungry? So if you don't finish the 20, That's okay. And that's another part of what Shannon was trying to get across. She's trying to teach everyone that crafting can be fun, it can be light and airy. It doesn't have to be stressful. The rules can be bended. The rules can be curved a little bit to whatever you need, to whatever you have. If you don't have a particular item, use what you have. So I hope that helps. So anyway, we're on our last 15 minutes, and we're going to do detailing with pens and outlining. And I found that this was easy to do because I would, uh, and this would also be a good time to maybe dry your items before you moved on to the last prompt. So maybe I will dry everything because like I said, you will have time in between. Yes. We don't want you to overthink, and that is the challenge for you, Cheryl. And we want it to be a fun time. And it'll be challenging, but it's, you can do it. Everybody can do this. I'm going to go ahead and dry my pages. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and speak up. I've got 22 in the room, and I need to see 22 questions. Well, Carol, not really organized. It's just that each step is detailed to words and images. It's easy for you. It's just words and a picture, and if you have them already here stacked up in front of you, it makes it easier to make a choice to move on faster. And I can see you can overthink, but again, when you're done with all of your pages and you still have some time left, you're going to see how fast it goes. Yes, Holly, I can see that. I do too, especially the one we made last night. And I said, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this. It needs something. when she said splatter, when she said splatter, I was thankful because it put the finishing touch on my out of this world picture. Did you all see it? Did everybody see it? We Lisa did a pick 10 last night. And this was my pick 10. And she kept saying metallic, metallic. Well, the first metallic, I put the copper on. So it was already copper. And then she said paint again. And every prompt was paint, I think. So I ended up with this. And when she said splatter with white paint, I was thankful because it really kind of put a finishing touch on this thing. And I think I still might do something else to it. And see, that's another thing. When you're done with your game, then we can go back and glue things down and refine everything. And if you find that you want to put something right here, you can on your when it's over. You can do anything you want. And I just wanted you to see how flexible the game is, even though it's strict on each prompt. We're kind of strict, or you just try to pick the same thing. And there's lots and lots of techniques to do things, and you can go back and add to it. And that's why I did this the other day with the backgrounds. Well, what can you do for a background? You can paint, paper, stencil, use book pages, use alcohol sprays, use ink, use water, use gesso, use a cardboard, use boxes, use washi tape, bubble wrap. All of these are background. But some of these can still be used for recycling if they're in your in your leftover box. Exactly. Well, my thing that I did last night is on cardboard. It's on too thick. I wanted to put it up here on top of my shelves. Holly, sometimes you have to stop. You're right. I agree. I agree with you. But sometimes it's challenging just to add one more just to see what you can get away with. But anyway, all of these background items can also be used for textures and recycled backgrounds. And they can be used for patterns. You know, some of these overlap each other. And of course, words or images are pretty much words or pictures, right? And then detailing and pencils. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go through the last pretend 15 minutes. And I was drying these just a little bit so that I can use an ink pen and I can really show you how I detail things, how I can detail. I'm just trying to give you an example. And this is and while we're between timings, it's okay to go back and dry things in between. And the wax paper works up to a point. And if it does that, then it does that. We can't, we're not going to fussy about it. I just put it back down. I just did a reverse paper image there. Aunt Beck was doing those Aunt, Aunt Beck was doing the packing tape transfers. Well, this wax paper poured off the print level just like that. But I am going to try to dry each page for just a few minutes, and then we're going to do the last one. The main thing is to have fun. We're here to have fun together. Yes, Becky with the doily, she did a book. That was a book cover, like front and back of a book, and the spine. I didn't know that till after I saw the last couple of pictures, and it's really beautiful. Really, uh, it's going to be a beautiful book. Well, I think I need to put. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I'm going to put a butterfly. I've got a clothespin in the middle of it. This is a clothespin, and I think it would be cute to maybe try to make a little butterfly out of it, out of some scrapbooking paper, and it'll take away all that darkness. I'll do something springy maybe. Okay, yes, exactly. It would. It doesn't have to be wax paper. It could be the grease-proof paper. Yes. Um, my husband came in last night, and yeah, I think a butterfly would look good. My, Joe was in the living room cleaning out his desk in there, and he brought me some items in, and he says, "Can you use these?" And I go, "Oh yes, I can use those." And look what he brought me. These are for a 3-ring binder, and they have a piece of black uh, construction paper in the middle, and you can put a document in there or a picture or something, but they're plastic. You could use these in between between your journalings by 5's. You know, it's a product that I think since I have wax paper, I'm going to use wax paper. But if I didn't have any wax paper, I could have used this. Yes, Holly, I knock it back. I'm going to put that butterfly on that thing. But this is just an example of something that you might find at the secondhand store. If you don't have wax paper, it's sleeve protectors is what it's called. And they're all bent up on the corners, you know, like that. So I could either cut that off or try to smooth it out, but I might have to iron it, put it on the ironing board and put a piece of paper on it and then iron it. Don't put your iron on this plastic or it'll melt to your iron. But if I don't care, I'll just cut that little doodad off right there. I won't, you know, if I don't care what I'm going to use it for. But the other side's good. But anyway, you know, you could even cut these into two pieces because there is a front and a back, and use one in between your pages, and you'd have two here. So there's lots of products out there to substitute. And but I'll be using this. I'll be using these. And he also brought me in a notebook, just a school notebook, and you can find them when school goes back to school. They'll have them for 25 cents. You can get notebooks, and he used it, and I think he tore out all the papers that he had in it, was writing on, and he says, "Can you use this?" And I go, "Oh yeah, that could be my next journaling by 5's." And I would take and start gluing 2 pages at a time, and I would just put a little bit of glue, just zigzag the glue on and close. Turn a page, zigzag a little bit of glue, maybe do a square and turn the next page and glue it down. And if you have a roller, you can roll it and smooth it out. That's how I glue my pages together. I lay the next sheet down, put a little bit of glue here, and I turn the page and I brayer it out, smear it out. And then when you're done, you'll have a thick page to journal on. You know, they would be thicker. If you don't use the 2 pages glued together, I find that the paper tears and gets moist, it gets wet, and it's easily to tear and mess up. So it's better if you have them glued together to give it some thickness. But what I did today is I used cardstock individually, and I'm still drying. Got on a tangent. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be a good finishing touch. You see, Aunt Beck was talking about the book she made last night, and yes, those cutting mats would also be good. You can get 3 in a package of cutting mats, and you can use, you know, anything that's plastic. But Aunt Beck did a book cover last night, and she has pretty doilies and flowers all over it, and it's beautiful the way she painted it with the prompts last night. And she's going to after it dries real good, she's going to put a clear coat on it afterwards. So you see, you can continue to work on your art project after you're done, after the game is over. So that's another good example. Now this little guy wanted to come up. So we're in between stages right now, and I want to do the last prompt, and I'm drawing. Yes, cutting mats for the kitchen. Okay, Cheryl. Thanks. I think you got a good idea of what we're going to do. We're going to do this on a hangout. Well, Sherry, are you talking about the clear coat? You wish you had some? Do you have any glue or decoupage glue? Because all you have to do is a little coat of that over top of anything that's loose or soft, and it'll give it a hard coating covering finish. I've seen cutting mats, uh, two in a package, and sometimes more, depending on the type of cutting mats they are, how thick they are. I got some. Joe picked me some up at Walmart, and they're too thick, and they curl, and they won't lay flat on the countertop. I don't like them. I like my Dollar Tree ones better. But it would, that would take a lot of cutting mats. Uh, but you can also use a Ziploc bag, just a regular gallon size Ziploc bag. It's big enough to fit on most of the sheet, and you could cut them in half and use two pieces. See, so a Ziploc bag, and you can get the kind that doesn't have the zipper at the top, the flat ones that are flatter, and they're real cheap. I've seen those at the Dollar Tree. They have the twisty ties on them. That would be a good substitution, and it would only cost you $1 for the whole box. Yeah, that's the ones I like. That's the very thin, bendable kind, um, from the Dollar Tree. Those are the ones I like the best. Oh, and you could cut them in half too. Okay, that would give you four, and then you can reuse them again in your art, for other projects. Yeah, exactly. And I happen to have wax paper, and I got another box of wax paper in a yard sale, and it's real old. So it has 75 square feet on it, and it's vintage. The box is vintage. So when I get done with the box, I'm going to save the box. Looky here, American Value. It's probably 70s. I paid $1 for it at a yard sale, but it was like brand new. Hadn't been used much. And I was looking to see if it might have had a date. Gouletsville, Tennessee. Maine, USA. But I think that the box will be fun to use for something vintage when we get done. But I got to use the paper first. Okay, you posted yours, Holly? Okay. I'm on my last one, and then we're going to do our last prompt. And I got a little bit of stickage here. I'm going to do it slow. And that stuck a little bit, but I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. Okay, I understand that, Holly. So in between each 15 minutes, in between each prompt, you're allowed to dry everything and go back and make sure everything is okay. And see, at the very end, there's a few things like this that uh, that I will address, and I'll do that at the very end. But when I get things mostly dry enough so I can do my last prompt, which is working with a pen or detailing. It's detailing. You can use a pen. You can detail with a marker. Details. You can doodle. You can use markers. You can use a gelato stick. Um, you can use you could use glitter and a glitter pen. Um, the only thing is this will not dry, so you have to be very careful, and just maybe if you do, make sure if you use it, smear it so that it's real thin, because if you leave it as a bead, a line, bead of glue, it'll be a havoc on your wax paper. But you're mainly wanting to doodle and use marking tools and pencils and pens. You could use glitter pens, you could use colored pencils, you could use a paint pen, you can use a Posca pen. And I do have some Posca pens. I can just get my Posca pens out and use them for my final detailing. I don't have a black or a white one because I need to buy me new ones, but I can use my other ones. Use them up. I also have a large variety of Sharpies if I wanted to use my Sharpies. So all of these are acceptable. I do have some paint pens, but they're so old, I'm not sure they even work. So this is just a few things that I can get out and try to use. So we're getting ready to do our last detail, okay? Details. So I've got my timer fixed for 15 seconds. We're pretending, okay? We're still pretending. So here we go. Let's see, what would she look good in? I don't know. I'm going to try the purple Posca pen. She is still a little damp. Now this is the one, if you spend too much time, you can really spend too much time. Like if you only know you got 45 seconds per page or 30 seconds per page or 1 minute per page, then you know kind of how long you can stay on each page. And if you're in a hurry, then you would just do things like this and just do a big outline and maybe just do dot, dot, dash, dash, dot, dot, dash, dash borders around. That would be doodling, and something quick and easy like that. You could just outline her and get rid of this white on the edge of her a little bit. And blend her into the background. There's no right or wrong. That's all I can say. No right or wrong. Do whatever you want to do. you know, I color in the paint cup there. I can still outline it. And boom, I'm done. I'm going to move on because I've got 20 more pages to do, right? We're pretending. So I'm going to do the next one. And there's a lot of orange and yellow and red. And I've got this orange Sharpie. Let's see if it'll show up. That doesn't really show up, but I can still go around her with it. It doesn't matter if it blends or not. I can still do it if I want to. And so I'm going to try another color though. And I'm going to try maybe some navy blue to pick up this blue. So I got another Posca pen, and I'm just going to make some marks here. I'm just adding details and doodling. And I'm kind of going as fast as I can. And I could take and outline my butterflies here. I'm doing it quickly, and I'm not trying to be too exact. I'm just sort of just doing it as fast as I can. It's not about perfection as much as it is about getting art down on an empty page. So, how about that? Okay, there's just moving on. Moving on. My clock's a ticking. Clock's a ticking. Oh wow, this is a colorful page. But I think this yellow might stand out. Let's see. Yeah. The Posca pens will go over top of the wet things. And this has got a little leftover border on it. I'll just add it and frame it. Okay. And I can just do some dots. This Posca pen is squirting out paint. So that means I might have to get my tissue dabber here. So get my napkin and maybe take up some of that moisture. And I'll just do it all over because I can. I think that looks nice. Looks good. Now see, when I get done, I'll trim that little bit there, that off. I'll trim it off. And I'm on my last page, and I've got, oh no, I'm not on the last page, next to the last. Now this one, I think we need to put some red on it. I think we need a little red. There's Abby barking. So I'm just going to outline my pictures a little bit. Somebody's home. I'm assuming it's Joe. And I might just go over a little bit on these butterflies. Someone's at my door. I got to go get it. One moment. Okay, Abby. I'll be done here shortly. Come on. Stop her from barking. Okay, it's my company. It's some of my extended family. They've been on vacation. So anyway, we're going to finish this game up, and hopefully Abby will settle down. She's excited. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe do some circles as some more doodling here. My friends that just got here, they're from Kentucky, from where I lived. And Jada is one of my little assistants, and I'll have her on with me next time I get on. She can help me show you all some things. She's very artistic too. And they just came back off a vacation from Puerto Rico. So they'll have a lot of tales for me tonight. So I'm just doing a little doodling here. We're doing details on our journalings by 5. Have you ever done journalings by 5 game? It's a game. She'll play with us. And I think I'm going to go around these butterflies a little bit here. And the red pops out on this black and white. So okay, I think I'm going to call that one done. And then on the very last page, we have, I'm slowly peeling it back. It's not quite dry yet. So this one I need to doodle on. It's also very wet, so I'm going to dry it just a tad. And I'm trying to decide what color. I don't think it really matters what color. I'll just use navy. Don't think it matters. But you can just do ziggy lines, do a border. You know, you can even do something like this. And if you do your journalings by 5 on cardstock like I have, when you get done, we can punch 3 holes in them and put them in a binder, or we can bind it ourselves, and I can show you how to bind them if you want to do that. So that's kind of the last stage. And then after everything is dried, you can go back and finish gluing things down if you need to. And that's about it for the journaling by 5s. It's just real easy to do, and it's fun, and it's supposed to be low stress. So are there any other? That's the end of the game. That's the end of the game. So when we play this the next time, we're going to play it with 20 pages, 15 or 20 pages, and maybe we can do 10 pages. You know, I just did 5 today as a demo to show you variety of how to do it. So I'm going to talk with Lisa and see what she wants to do. I'm going to talk to her after a while, and today or tomorrow, and we're going to get together and do a hangout together, and you all are all invited, and we'll all play together. And does that sound like a good deal? Bye, Zoe. So that's all I was going to teach you today. I've been on since 10, so I've been on for over 2 hours. So time flies when we're having fun. So you can also watch the Google journaling by 5s Google it on YouTube and watch other videos and watch other girls do it. And you'll see them squirt paint down and use a brayer. You'll see them do all kinds of little things. And it's all good. I used cardstock, which is a little bit thicker than printer paper. You're welcome, Carol. And if all you have is typing paper and that's all you have, take two pieces and glue them together, lightly glue them together. And then let them dry, and then that would be the strength of a cardstock. It's just a little bit thicker. Lisa said last night she did it one time on the backs of cereal boxes and stuff. And you can if you have enough cardboard, you can do one on each side. It's thickened because it's real thick. And I showed you my other journal where I did do it on both sides. It was a double page spread, and you did 2 pages at a time. So if you feel up to that challenge, you can do that, or find you some junk mail like this. This was junk mail. Here is some ice cream cone waffles cones. It's a box. So if you just had this size, that's fine. And you can do it on one side like Lisa did. She demoed that last night, showed it before I don't know if it was before we did the prompts or after we did the pick 10s. But you know, whatever you have, you can use recycled cardboard. Newspaper is a little too thin, and copy paper is a little too thin. But again, if you glue them together, that'll make it better. But you need to make sure it's really, really dry. But I would recommend typing paper. Cardstock paper worked really well today. Magazine paper is a little too thin. I don't particularly care for that style, but that doesn't mean you can try it. So this is cardstock, and it worked out really fine. So here's our final products. Time to play. Celebration. I love it. In your own words. Victorian style. Love it. Technically speaking. And the start of your journey. Party, party, party. Party with crafts. Isn't that right, Jada? So that's all I'm going to do today. And I'm going to let these dry, and I'll finish gluing them down here in a little bit. So I'll come on again this week sometime. You're welcome, everybody. Okay? Have a great rest of the day. I think there's some other people coming on later. I think Caged Art is coming on at 1. So I'll see you guys later. I'm signing off. Have a good day. Bye. Now I can sign off. I'm going to go down. Here's my cursor. I don't see my cursor. There it is. Go down here. This is my broadcasting stage.